Hey everybody, welcome. I just wanted to take a few minutes and check in with you. It's been a few minutes since I really put any meaningful content out, and I wanted to let you know what's going on in our homeschool journey, specifically as it relates to graduating a homeschooler. So that's where we find ourselves in this season. I've been kind of burying my head in records and files and putting together my daughter's high school transcript. I've been ordering her diploma. We've been planning the event. We are about 6 weeks away from graduating the first of our 4 kids who have been homeschooled now for 12 years. So thought I would check in and just let you know how it's going, especially if you're one of the homeschooling parents who are where I've been for the last 12 years. You may be like, I know that we made this decision for good reasons. I know that we think this is what's best for our kid, but then in the back of your mind, you're kind of like, what's the end game? What's it going to look like? Is there any chance that we get at the end of this road and regret what we've done? Or is there any chance that we get down to the end of high school and options are limited because we chose this path? So if you've got those questions, hang in here because I'm ready to talk to you about them. So before we dive in, if you could do me a favor, if this channel is giving you value, please like and subscribe and it'll help me out as well. But I just want to talk to you really in an unscripted format, just letting you know from a mom to you, a mom or dad or grandparent, whoever you are that's homeschooling these wonderful children in your lives. I want to just kind of let you know what this season is like emotionally, and then I'll also talk about what it's like logistically, what we're having to make sure that we handle in dotting the I's and crossing the T's, things like that. So first, from an emotional standpoint, like I mentioned, even in all of the confidence that I've had about our homeschooling journey, there have been so many questions, and there's always still kind of been that nagging little temptation of doubt in the back of my mind of what if, what if we get all the way down this road and it wasn't what we thought it was? I mean, by that point, it's the point of no return. What do we do? And so now that we're here, and I would say over the last year, things have been progressing in such a way that I could see how well this is shaping out. Now that we're at this point, I am just so relieved and in a lot of ways validated. I guess not I am validated, but our decision, I feel like, has been validated. So our experience, for those of you who may be new to the channel who don't know, is that we started homeschooling kind of on a whim. Our daughter was 4 years old. She's 16 now. And we were looking around at preschools because we thought she's really into learning. She loves ABCs and counting and all the things. Maybe it's time for some more structured learning than just, what toddlers do, playtime and things like that. Well, the preschool that we visited kind of went over what they were going to be learning that year, and it was stuff she already knew just from interacting with grandparents and us and whoever else. What we do, we teach our kids constantly whether we're aware of it or not. So she had already learned so many things that she really didn't need the preschool course. But she was a young 4-year-old, and I didn't really want to just start looking at kindergarten. So we instead looked for homeschool options, and we found the online option. As many of you recall my story, I was working full-time, had a 2-year-old also, soon to be baby on the way. I mean, things were rolling. We had a lot going on. So we found an online kindergarten option with BJU Press Homeschool. And we decided to give homeschooling a try for a year. Well, she took off, and here we are 12 years later. She is a young 16-year-old, and she is finishing up her high school work a month from today. She will be finishing, actually, the work that I've given her, she'll probably finish sooner than that if I know her. But she's in some dual enrollment college courses right now that we started this year, and she'll be finishing those up on the 15th of December. And then we plan to have a graduation celebration at the end of next month. So we're really excited about where this journey has brought us. But more than excited, I think, and more than relieved, I am very relieved. I am grateful. And I may get a little emotional, and I'm not putting on for you. I am really deeply, genuinely grateful. I'm grateful that we live in a country that allows us to homeschool, that doesn't try to, even though the public school system may be the dominant force in some ways, as far as the most commonly used form of education, we still have the option to keep our children at home and educate them at home. I'm grateful that I live in a state that doesn't put up a lot of barriers. I know that some states are quite a bit more strict than my state. I live in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I'm thankful that we have had this opportunity to really just dive into the deep end and learn how to swim. That's really what our homeschool journey has been like. But now that we're on this side of it, the confidence that I have, not just in myself, but in you as homeschooling parents, the confidence I have has gone through the roof. This entire 12-year journey, and our journey's not over. We still have 3 boys coming up after our daughter. So it's not by any means over, but this is a huge milestone for us. The confidence that I have in this journey and the ability for it to succeed for a child, to provide a child with an excellent education, not just checking off boxes and just saying we got it done, but getting it done well, getting it done with excellence, giving them a quality education and a quality upbringing. That confidence has gone through the roof now. Now I know that you don't have to be perfect to make homeschooling work. I oftentimes say I am a model of how homeschooling can work in spite of myself. Not because I am the best, not because I'm great at keeping things organized or staying on top of a schedule. Ha ha ha. That is not where I am strong. But there is so much grace and there is so much ability that we have as parents to teach our kids, even beyond what we estimate of ourselves, if that makes sense. So now that we're at this point, I'm definitely sensing the emotions coming on in this season. Our daughter is 16, so she's not moving out of the house yet. Thankfully, I don't have that roller coaster of emotions going on at the same time. But this sense of, wow, what I set out to do is coming to a close in this particular way. Obviously, I'm still her mom. Obviously, she still has life ahead of her and she needs me. And so there's no identity crisis going on there. But just knowing that there is such a huge weight in a way that's coming to a close, that we've been going through this wondering, and we've been, we heard the questions from time to time. We let her move ahead of pace. So people would ask, well, what are you going to do when she gets out of high school when she's 15 or 16, or, what are you going to do then? Or what are you going to do about this? Or what are you going to, and so now I can say, I used to say, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now we're at the bridge. So now I can look, and the steps ahead of us are a lot clearer than they were even a month ago, even a few months ago. So now I can say, okay, this is what that bridge looks like, and here are our options for how to cross it. So let me just go ahead and switch over to some of the logistics, because I know some of you are wondering that, whether you're really early in your journey or maybe you're partway through, maybe you have a high schooler that you're homeschooling and you're trying to figure out, what is this going to look like? And is this going to be a viable path for my student, my child, to continue their education or to launch out into their career after they have graduated from homeschooling? Now, I will say, disclaimer, I don't know your state's regulations, so I'm just going to speak from what I understand about my state's regulations here in Virginia. Here in Virginia, the best understanding that I have from all the information that I have looked into, parents decide when the student has accomplished enough high school in the homeschool environment to be considered a graduate. So there are tons of ways of homeschooling, as you know, and not all of them are the traditional K through 12 approach. So there is leniency there for a parent to kind of work through that on their own. Personally, we have chosen to follow a K through 12 model for the most part. Again, if you've watched my other videos, you know that we deviate a lot in our schedule and in just kind of how we approach the curriculum. We've learned through the years how to make the curriculum work for us instead of us feeling like we're working for the curriculum. But more or less, we have followed the traditional K through 12. So I have records from 9th through 12th grade now for my daughter. I have grades that we've kept. I've got samples of papers, test scores, things like that we have accumulated for the last 4 years. So I am now working on putting those things into a summary form in a transcript. And here in Virginia, the parent develops the transcript, the parent issues the transcript, the parent issues the diploma. Everything is up to the parent. I don't have to run anything through the school board. I've been homeschooling legally in Virginia since we started, so I don't have to run anything by them. I don't have to get anybody to approve the transcript. I don't have to get anyone to sign off on the diploma. Her diploma will have her father's name, my husband, and my name. And that will be those will be the two people who issue her diploma to her. So I am handling all of that right now. I'm, like I said, building the transcript. I've got it almost done. I've ordered a diploma. You can, if you decide to, you can order it from a place that actually, prints it up and gives you the professional looking cover and things like that. And then we have been talking to her for months now about what she wanted graduation to look like. I've talked in one of my other videos and also in my course, Homeschool Crash Course for Parents, I've talked about what graduation may look like, and that's really up to you. It's up to each family to decide what works best for them. So I did present her the idea of holding a graduation ceremony. She hated the idea. I was really, really surprised because I kind of thought she would want to sort of go through that formality. She does not want a cap and gown. She doesn't want a ceremony. She doesn't want to go, walk a stage with a co-op or something, because there are homeschool groups that hold ceremonies, in our area. Now, granted, we're also graduating her at an off time of the year. We're not graduating at peak high school graduation time. So the graduation ceremonies that are being done by co-ops and stuff are probably going to be held in the spring, not right now in December. But she didn't want that anyway. So we're in the clear there. So we talked through with her what she wants to do. And since we have some out-of-town family that we'll be seeing over the holidays, we're going to do one small celebration when we're out of town in a few weeks. And then next month, after all of her coursework is completed, her grades are final, we are going to just hold our own little event, just some family and friends. I'm going to present her the diploma, along with my husband, of course, and we're going to celebrate her achievement and just commemorate that day for her. So we do have a graduation date. It's going to be something that is recognized and easy to define, but it's not going to be a traditional walk across the stage, shake somebody's hand, move your tassel. So that's what it is shaping up to look like for her. You know what? Check back in with me in a couple of years and I'll let you know what it's going to look like for the second kid, because I can just about guarantee you that he's going to want something slightly different than his sister had. So we're going to be able to customize each one's progress and achievement as the time comes. So what about college? I know that's on the top of your mind for some of you anyway. You're wondering, well, if you're the parent and you're just putting together your own transcript, is that going to be recognized by reputable schools? And the answer that we're finding is yes. There are more and more schools, actually I haven't found one to the contrary yet, who are accepting homeschooled graduates, who are just as open to homeschooled graduates as they are to traditionally schooled graduates, graduates of public or private school, and they are accepting these transcripts. Now we'll find out. We're on the beginning side of these application processes, and we're actually completing our first application today. But we are going to find out if they ask for more detailed information. And I'm prepared that if they do, I'll be able to back up that transcript with explanations of course material, things that were covered, that we covered certain labs or whatever. Like, I can give detail. I don't have every nitty-gritty detail anymore, but I have enough detail that I can substantiate what I'm putting on that transcript. I'm not putting anything on that transcript that I don't feel like I can validate. So I'm building the transcript knowing that the colleges that she's applying for are applying to are probably going to be looking for a certain mix of subjects. And typically that would go along with what you would expect from a public school or a state issued diploma. So I'm looking at things like she has 4 years of high school English. She has 4 years of high school math, 4 years of high school science, 4 years of high school history, and then also looking at electives. You know, there's a good chance that they're going to be looking for 2 foreign languages, and then they're going to be looking for some more electives. So I have made sure that we have all of that accounted for on her transcript, along with noting certain achievements and volunteer work, things like that, that she's been involved with over her high school career. So I am confident that the homeschooling transcript will not be a problem in these applications. I've been on many, many schools' websites, colleges and universities over these last several months, and everything that I'm seeing, they welcome homeschooled graduates. So I hope to be able to check back in with you before too long and let you know kind of the status of some of those applications. Meanwhile, she has been in dual enrollment, like I mentioned, for pretty much since May. She started in the summer semester, and now she's taking some more classes this semester. And so she's going to have some college credit already by the time she graduates high school next month. But the good thing is we do have the option through the school that she's taking that through to continue taking courses there, so that we know we have a path no matter what for her to continue earning college credit as soon as January. So she will be continuing in January. It's just a matter of whether or not she'll be starting in an official bachelor's degree program, or if she will continue with this more unofficial accumulating of credit until she's ready to transfer into a full-time bachelor's degree program. So we're still working through our options there, but the beautiful thing is we have options. We do, and they're really seeming to be pretty acceptable. Now, I will mention one thing. We have hit some difficulties. Our difficulties have been not because she's been homeschooled, but because we are graduating her early. And so I do want to mention that just in case you want to keep it in the back of your mind. For me, they are not enough difficulties to cause me to wish I had done things differently. And I don't mean for that to sound bad, but she loved working ahead of pace. She loved moving on and being ahead of her age group, and she's worked very hard to maintain that. So I don't regret at all that she's graduating early, but I will tell you that the difficulties we've encountered with this bridge that we've come to is trying to navigate that piece of it, because she's 16 years old. She's a young 16. She's not moving out of the house anytime soon. None of us, she nor her father and I, really find any of the options right here in our immediate area to be the options that she wants to pursue as far as college or universities go. So what we've been looking at, and we knew from the get-go, we would be looking at online programs for at least the beginning, for the first couple of years until she's at a point where she wants to move out of state or out of town or whatever, if it comes to that. But we really wanted to find something that would offer a 100% online option of getting her degree in the event that she wanted to start it and finish it all the same way without having to transfer on campus or whatever. So the limited options that we've encountered are that, yes, there are a lot of online degree possibilities right now, but we're trying to kind of navigate which ones fit her and which ones fit her degree path best. So one thing is she would really like to apply to some prestigious schools. She scored very well on her ACT last December. She was 15 years old and she scored very, very well on her ACT. She's done very well in school. She'll be graduating with a 4.0 GPA, and she's proud of that. And she would like to go to a school that has a reputation for being academically more reputable, whatever you want to say. She would like to do that if possible. And what we're finding is that a lot of those schools don't have robust online offerings yet. I understand that. I understand that that's still a work in progress for a lot of schools. The other piece to that is that a lot of these schools that would offer scholarships to on-campus residential freshmen coming in the fall of the year don't necessarily offer the same extent of scholarships for online students or for the students starting on an off, like in the spring semester or summer semester or something like that. So we're kind of working through scholarship things because we feel like she will qualify for scholarships, but we're basically just trying to piece everything together right now to see which combination of options is going to fit needing to be online, needing some scholarships that she is well deserving of to help fund it, and then also fitting the degree path that she wants to pursue. So again, those are all challenges that have come out of graduating early, not because we're graduating from homeschool, if that makes sense. And then, of course, like I mentioned, we're graduating her in an off season of the year in December instead of in May or June. I actually really love it. On the one hand, I love that we're hitting all the clearance stuff on the class of 2024. Like all of these stores that have keychains and picture frames and, all the different paraphernalia, sweatshirts, whatever. They all say class of 2024 and they are like pushing them out the door, get rid of them. And so we're like, yes, we're getting some good deals on that stuff. That's great. I like that we're not competing with other graduation parties that are happening or graduation dates that are happening at the same time. Really, the only downside to the time of year that we're doing it is that with it being right around the holidays, it could make it challenging for some people to be there to celebrate with us. Specifically, we know that our out-of-town family on my husband's side won't be able to come because of work blackouts and things like that happen around the holidays. So that's been the biggest hindrance as far as timing goes. But otherwise, this kid is so excited to be graduating. She has pushed really hard. I told her she could back off a little and we could graduate her in January. And she said, no, I want to be class of 2024. So we said, okay, let's make it happen then. So that is where things have been with us. And I hope that if you've watched to this point, that you have taken encouragement from knowing that there are a lot of options. They are good quality options out there for homeschool graduates. And that when it comes time for you to graduate your child, you don't have to stress and worry. You can just look into your state requirements for what's going to be needed. Go ahead and anticipate it a year or two out so you can make sure that if there are any adjustments you need to make, you can go ahead and make them in time. And then just take it day by day. That's really what I'm doing right now. Day by day, we're knocking out one thing and then another and just checking off tasks on the mental to-do list to get ready for this graduation. So I hope this has been encouraging to you. If it has, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or there's anything specific you'd like me to speak to, as always, please drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Before I go, I just want to remind you why we're doing what we're doing. It's because our kids deserve better. I'll see you soon.